Hello retouchers, so welcome to my channel once again. So in today's tutorial, we are going to be retouching this chocolate skin model right here. Okay, so I will show you guys how I retouch this beautiful picture right here from this to this, okay, and from this to this. Okay, so I will show you how I achieve this skin tone and also make it darker this way. Okay, so we are going to be taking this tutorial step by step. Okay, so if this is your first time coming across my channel, please subscribe my channel. Okay, support by subscribing my channel and hit the bell button so you get notified anytime I drop another tutorial. Okay, so this tutorial will be taking it step by step. We are not missing any process. Okay, so I don't have copyright of this beautiful picture right here. Okay, big shout out to the photographer. Okay, for the sake of this tutorial, we're making use of the beautiful picture right here. So guys, let's start. First, we'll be retouching this picture right here with a technique we call frequency separation. Okay, if you're a retoucher, you'll be familiar with frequency separation. Okay, and another thing you need to know, there are different ways to do frequency separation, but in this tutorial, I'm going to use one of the best way to do frequency separation. Okay, so I have my all-in-one retouching pack right here. This pack contains everything you need as a retoucher, as an editor. Okay, so if you need this pack, you can check my channel description, okay, to download it. Okay, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm not going to make use of this pack. We'll be retouching it one after the other from the grassroots. Okay, so to do the frequency separation, we'll simply separate the textures of this image and put it on a different layer. Then we put the tone, which is the color, on a different layer. So whatever thing we are doing on the tone will not affect the texture, and whatever thing we are doing on the texture will not affect the tone. That is frequency separation. Okay, so before we do that, let's fix these hairs out here. Okay, so and to fix the hairs, I have to separate the picture, select the picture and separate it from the background. Okay, so to do that, there are many ways to select it in Photoshop. You know, Photoshop is very broad, okay? But I'm making use of my quick selection tool right here. Then up here, I'll change it to cloud detail. Then I click on select objects and allow Photoshop to do the selection for me. Okay, right here, Photoshop, I've selected this picture. Okay, so I will zoom and check if the selection is perfect. Okay, so anywhere that Photoshop didn't select well, I will use my polygonal lasso tool and perfect the selection the way I want it. Okay, remember, what I want to do is to remove this strand hairs that is out there. Okay. Okay, nice one. So what I will do right here is to feather. Okay, I'm feathering with 3. Okay, so the work of this feather is to make sure that the edges will not be sharp. Okay, so feather will soften the edges. Okay, so I click OK. Now pick my clone stamp tool. Instead of changing the background, I pick my clone stamp tool, then pick from this side of background that doesn't have anything on it. Pick from it. If you want to pick, you click your alternative and left click your mouse and click on that side. Then you highlight it and paint. Sorry, I have to inverse this selection, okay, because we want it to be on the background, not the image, okay. Then you paint on it, as you can see, to remove those hairs. Okay, the same thing I will do here, click here and pick it, then paint on it to remove those hairs. Okay. So, okay, as you can see right now, the hairs is out. Okay, so this picture is looking beautiful like this. Okay, so now let's do our retouching. Okay, so to do the frequency separation, we duplicate our layer twice. Control J or Command J. If you are using Apple, Command J. If you are using Windows, Control J. Okay, as you can see, this is the two copies we make here. So the first copy here will be our tone, which is the low frequency, okay? And the second copy here will be our texture, which is the high frequency. Guys, remember, what we are doing is separating the tone and the texture in two different layers, okay? So this layer is where we will put the texture, and this one will be the tone, okay? So now we are going to add blur on this image, okay, to enable it, the blur that will enable it to soften when we are retouching, okay? So we turn off the texture. Remember, the texture layer is above the tone. So if we didn't turn off the texture layer, when we are applying the blur, we will not be seeing what we are doing, because this texture layer will block the tone layer, okay? So you have to turn it off, then make the tone layer active, and go to filter, to blur, and to Gaussian blur, okay? So here in Gaussian blur, this is where many retouchers find it difficult, okay? But I'm going to explain it to you the way you understand it here, okay? So here in Gaussian blur, the amount of blur you use depends on the picture you are working on. There is no specific amount of blur, okay? So, but what you will look after is the amount that will blur your image, and you will still be seeing your textures, okay? So let's see, we use 10 on this image. As you can see, 10 is okay. 10 blur this image, but I'm still seeing the textures. I'm still seeing this. Now let's try 12. 12. Okay, as you can see, 12 blur this image, but if you zoom, you'll still be seeing the textures, but not that obvious, okay? So that is what you will look after. It doesn't really have any specific amount, okay? Now, the picture you'll be working on, you need to blur like 6 or 7 to get to the results that will blur the texture, the image, and you still be seeing the texture, okay? And that a picture you'll be working on, you have to increase it high, okay? For this picture, the amount that give me this result now is 12, okay? So I click OK. So as you can see now, we've blurred the texture out from the tone, okay? So now this is, we make our texture layer active, okay? So we go to image, then we go to apply image, okay? So here in apply image, this is where we do the necessary settings for 8 bits, okay? And to move all the textures to the texture layer, this is where the settings will happen. Okay, so here in apply image, you go to the layer here. Under layer here, you enter inside it and choose tone. Okay, so we want to extract all the textures on this tone and put everything in textures layer. Okay, so leaving only the tone. That's what we are doing right here. Okay, so here you will put it under layer, you put it on tone. Okay, so this blending mode here, you will change it to subtracts. Okay, so you will get this result, this gray color here. Okay, so your scale here, you put it on 2. Your offsets, you put it on 128. Okay, your opacity will be on 100. Okay, so you will uncheck your preserve, transparent, and mask. Okay, so you click OK. So this is how your picture will look like. Okay, it will look like this. Then the next thing you will do is to change the blending mode to linear lights. Okay, so this is the linear lights. And once you change the blending mode to linear lights, it will look normal like this. Okay, so all the textures here in this image now, they are in this texture layer. Okay, so this is our tone. If you turn off the texture layer, this is our tone, and this is our texture layer right here. Okay, so this is how you can create your frequency separation. Okay, so but there is still something we need to do. Okay, we are going to duplicate this tone and the texture layer. Okay, so Control J to duplicate the tone layer. Then we are going to clip it with this copy here. The first copy, we are going to clip the copy to the main tone layer. Okay, and to clip it, you right click and go to create clip mask to clip it together. Okay, or you can as well hold your alternative on your keyboard, take your cursor close in between the main layer and the copy, then the arrow will change pointing down, then you click on it to clip it. Okay, so the same thing you do with the texture layer. Control J. Now if you check something, focus on this image. If you duplicate your texture layer, Control J or Command J, you will notice that the image becomes sharper. Okay, that's because we are duplicating textures, because all the textures here, they are in their layer. Okay, so, and we are going to clip it together again. And another thing, once we clip it, it will become more sharper. Okay, so we hold our alternative, then come in between these two layers, and you see it becomes more sharper. Okay, so, and to fix this, we'll change the blending mode of the copy to normal. Okay, then we get this. Okay, so now, in between the texture layer and the tone layer, we are going to create an empty layer here by clicking this empty layer icon here. Okay, so we can name this correction or whatever thing you want to name it. Okay, so you might be wondering why we duplicate the tone layer and the texture layer and the need of this correction. Okay, and I will explain it to you. Okay, so the reason why we duplicate this tone is because of mistake. If you're a beginner watching this tutorial, in case you're working on the copy and you make a mistake, you don't need to start all over again to create this. You just delete this copy and start with this one. Okay, so if you delete it, you duplicate it again, then start with the copy instead of starting all over again to create frequency separation. The same thing with the texture. That's the main reason of duplicating it. Okay, so here, this correction in between, you can use it and retouch the tone. You know, there are many ways to retouch the tone. You can work on the tone layer directly, or you work on the correction directly. So it's very, very important. So I will group these frequency separation layers together. I select them, Control G, then I put them in a group. I name them FX, which is frequency separation. Okay. So guys, as you can see right here, we have created our frequency separation. Okay. So the next thing to do is to work on this image. Okay. So to work on this image, we'll be making use of our tone and not the correction, but I will make a video on how you can work with the correction, maybe in my next tutorial. Okay, for the sake of this tutorial, I'll be working on the tone. Okay, so we highlight the tone, then we go to our brush and pick our mixer brush tool. Okay, we'll be retouching with our mixer brush tool. Okay, so here you make sure your brush is on soft round brush. Okay, so your brush setting here, you make sure smoothing is active. You deactivate the rest. Okay, so the inside there, you make sure you are on clean brush. Then the first brush here, you deactivate it and activate the second brush. You make sure you are on custom here. Okay, so the wet, load, mix, and flow. Okay, so if you are a beginner watching this tutorial, I will advise you to put your weight on 30, your load 30, your mix can be 100 or 0 or anything, your flow 30. The reason why is because if you increase these settings up here, your mixer brush will be flowing excess and you might not control it to end up spoiling your picture. You don't want to do that, okay? So, but this is the settings I use. I use 60, my weight 60, my load 60, my mix 100 can be 0, doesn't matter. My flow 60. Okay, so this is my settings. You can as well try my settings if it will work for you, if you can control it. Or if you are not controlling it, you drop it down, you reduce this to 30, 30, 30. Okay, so this is the settings I use. Okay, so now we are going to be brushing this particular picture right there. And another thing you need to know as a retoucher watching this tutorial, you don't retouch to change the picture from what the picture is. Instead, you retouch to beautify the picture more, but the picture will still be looking real. Okay, so before we continue, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to my channel. This is a new channel. Please subscribe. Okay, support the growth of this channel. Okay, so thank you in advance. Okay, so to retouch this image as a retoucher, something you need to know is that, let me show you something. When you are retouching, you don't retouch the highlights. All these places are the highlight side on this image. Those places with highlight are the highlight side. Okay, you don't brush it to the shadow side, which is the dark side of the image, and you don't brush the shadow side to the highlight side. If you do that, you will spoil your image. And when you are brushing, you brush according to the structure of the face. Let me show you guys also. As this face is like this, you can see the face is like this. Then I will brush this way. I will brush this way. We brush this way. Okay. This is how the eyes is. I will brush this way. This is the nose. I will brush this way. I will brush this way. And I will brush this way. Okay. According to how the facial structure is, the body structure, this is how I will brush. You follow the body structure if you want to get a perfect retouch. Okay. So right now, let's retouch this picture right here. Okay. So I pick my mixer brush. Okay. So guys, remember, this is our reference picture, this and this. Okay, so let's retouch this picture. So you watch the way I'm brushing. Guys, remember, like I told you guys, when you are brushing, always take your time. You don't do brushing in a hurry. Like, you don't do retouching in a hurry. Take your time to beautify the picture. And when you are retouching, try everything possible to make it realistic. Okay, if you check this picture, if you watch the face right here, before, after, you can see the change before, after. Okay, so that is how you retouch. We are beautifying this picture more. We are mixing the skin, softening the skin, mixing the tones together. And as you can see, the textures are not affected. Although the textures will flatten a little, but it will not affect the textures a whole, because the textures are in another separate layer, okay, which is the frequency separation. That's what frequency separation is all about. So as you can see, I'm mixing highlights with highlights, making sure that I fix it. Okay, so before, after, don't do retouching in a hurry. Okay, so you can see the way the face is this way. That is how I will move my brush. And you increase and reduce your brush size according to the particular place you want to retouch. To increase and reduce your brush size, you use your left and right bracket key on your keyboard to do that. Okay, you can see the way the shape here is. That is the way I will brush it also. So if you're watching this video, guys, like and share, comment, drop your thoughts. Tell me the next tutorial you would love to see on this channel.
So if you're done with bread and brie, come feast where the sun don't see. No shame, no fear, brown starfish time. Real men eat ass. Now get in line.
So guys, I will say it again. If you are retouching, don't be in a hurry. You know, retouching is not what you do in a hurry, because you really need to pay attention to the details of the picture. You really need to pay attention to details.
I met a man with a beatnik hat. He said, darling, where your morals at? I said, somewhere between the moon and one.
So if you look at this picture, it seems as if nothing is happening. But if we check our before and after, you will notice that a lot has happened. Before, after, as you can see, before, after, a lot has happened. Okay, so like I told you guys, when you are retouching, try everything possible to make it natural. So when you finish retouching, the picture will still be what the picture is. Like the model will still be what the model is, but more beautiful. Not a fake retouch. You will retouch and move the model from what the model is to another thing. Okay, so you make sure that you get her face exactly the way she is.
Ooh, my chakras are aligned. From the tip of my tongue to my
Okay, now let's work on the neck.
If you're a man of taste,
So you go over and over again. You zoom back and zoom forward. Okay,
will
you observe during your retouching.
eat my ass? Ooh, eat my ass, yeah, man. Num 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 num. The commune girls all sing this tune. Naked under the waxing moon, with patchouli oil and turpentine, they chant real men eat ass. It's a holy sign. Let's meditate with my legs apart.
So you go all over and over again. Okay, as you can see, I'm back to the face because I will observe and check what I want to do. If I'm satisfied with the results, if I'm not satisfied, I will mix it to my satisfaction.
Ooh, my rectum's on the line, and I sense you're a man of the noble kind. So cast aside.
Okay, so let's check before and after. Before, after, as you can see, guys, we've done a whole lot of work before, after. Okay.
So if you're done with bread and breed,
So we need to work on the hair, okay, to fix the hair. Okay, so we use the same mixer brush to make the hair flatten and more beautiful.
real men eat ass. Now get in
Okay, we're almost done with this retouch right here.
I met a man with a beatnik hat. He said, darling, where your morals at? I said, somewhere between the moon and wine. And real men eat ass. Would you eat mine? He strummed his strings and stroked his beard.
Okay guys, I think this retouch is fine this way. So if you check before after, you will notice that we've retouched this picture beautifully. Okay, so the next thing to do right here is to pick some of those hard spots that is still on her skin. Okay, we need to pick them out. Okay, even on her hair. Okay, so, and to pick those things out, we'll make our texture layer active. Remember, during frequency separation, we separated the tone and the texture. So all those things are in texture layer, not the tone layer. Okay, so we make it active. Then we pick our clone stamp tool. So here in clone stamp tool, I normally put my hardness 100. Sometimes I drop it also, depends on the result. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm leaving it on 100. Okay, so my opacity 100, my flow 100. Okay, so I decrease the size, left bracket and right bracket, to decrease and increase the size of the brush. Then you come close to the spot you want to remove. Then pick from the good side, click alternative and click left click your keyboard together. Pick from the good side, then release alternative and paint the spot. That is how you remove those things, not just spots, some wrinkles and blemishes. Okay, remember there are other tools you can use to remove them also, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm making use of clone stamp tool. Okay, like I said, Photoshop is very, very broad. You can learn one thing in different ways. Here in Photoshop.
My rectum's on the line, and I sense you're a man of the noble kind. So cast aside your doubts and whine. Real men eat ass. Would you eat mine? Eat my ass. Ooh, eat my ass. Yeah, man.
Okay guys, this is fine. Okay, so this is the before and this is after. Okay, if you zoom it, you will see that the picture is still real, but more beautiful now, before, after. Okay, so this is how you can create your frequency separation on 8-bit image, and you can retouch using your frequency separation on 8-bit image. Okay, so if you have purchased this, if you have downloaded this my pack right here, you will see that I have a lot of, like, about 9 types of frequency separation, 9 types of retouch here. Okay, the advanced, the median, the frequency separation 8-bit, the 16-bit, fast retouch 1, fast retouch 2, fast retouch 3, and airbrush with skin finer. Okay, these are different types to retouch skin. Okay, different presets. So you see the 8-bit here. So this is how you can create it manually, but I will advise you to download this pack so it will make your work fast and easier. Okay, it's not every time you want to retouch picture you'll be creating all these things here from scratch. Okay, so you don't want to do that, so you need to get this preset. Check my description link, check my channel description, I meant to say. Okay, so guys, this is it for this tutorial. To do the skin tone, dodge and burn, from this to this, whiten the eye and whiten the teeth, we do it in part 2 of this tutorial. The video is long, I don't want it to be longer than this. Okay, so watch out for the part 2. Check my channel for the part 2, and if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification button so you get notified. Thank you guys for watching this tutorial.